Very good morning to all. On the behalf of Science Department of Shanti Devi Arya Mahila College, Reena Nagar, Management Committee of our college, Principal Dr. Reena Talwar, I feel elated and privileged to extend heartiest welcome to Honorable Resource Person Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur, who graciously agreed to be as resource person during the celebration of National Science Day. This day is catalyzed and supported by Punjab State Council for Science and Technology, National Council for Science and Technology Communication, DST, Government of India. I also extend a very warm welcome to Dr. K.S. Bhatt and Dr. Mandakri from Punjab State Council for Science and Technology for supporting our college for the celebration of National Science Day. I also extend heartiest welcome to all the participants during this webinar. Every year, National Science Day has some theme, and this year, National Science Day 2022 theme is Integrated Approach in Science and Technology for Sustainable Future. National Science Day of India is celebrated to mark the discovery of Raman Effect by Sir Chandrasekhar Venkat Raman. He won Nobel Prize for this discovery in 1930. The National Council for Science and Technology Communication asked the Government of India to designate 28 February as National Science Day in 1986. This day is celebrated to spread a message about the importance of science and technology and contribution of Dr. C.V. Raman and other scientists in making our daily life better. Respected Sukhdeep ma'am, very humbly, I want to inform you that we are celebrating Science Week from 22nd to 28th February under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and various activities carried out were Chetna Rally. We started from college to the senior secondary school at village Tangosha. The main aim was to spread this message of conservation of water and energy, and various competitions like declamation, poster making, slogan writing. In these competitions, our students participated with great enthusiasm, and the winners were awarded prizes by esteemed principal, Dr. Reena Talwar. So before we start today's webinar, I request our esteemed principal, who's very young, hardworking, and dynamic personality, Dr. Reena Talwar, to please formally welcome Honorable Resource Person of today's webinar, Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur. Over to Dr. Reena Talwar.
Thank you so much, Sunita ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to all, good morning to all of you. Matter of immense pleasure that Science Department of our college, in collaboration with Punjab State Council for Science and Technology and Government of India, is celebrating National Science Week from 22nd to 28th February 2022. Actually, under the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we have completed 75 years of independence. Under that, various activities have been carried out, like Chetna Rally and various competitions like declamation contest, poster making competition, slogan writing competition, and this expert talk is also a part of it. Today we have a very renowned scholar, Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur, Department of Physics, GNDU, among us. On behalf of the Managing Committee, staff members, and students, ma'am, I wholeheartedly welcome you in this webinar. I'm very much sure that your valuable thoughts will surely enhance the knowledge of our students. The main aim to celebrate this day is to spread a message about the importance of science and technology in our daily life and to encourage the students as well as popularize science and technology. As Sunita ma'am earlier told us, the theme of the National Science Day 2022 is Integrated Approach in Science and Technology for Sustainable Future. I think that this is the best time to come together to work for the survival of humanity at the time of this pandemic crisis. Actually, National Science Day is celebrated every year on February 28 to commemorate the discovery of the Raman Effect. The aim to celebrate this day to commemorate this contribution of the great scientists like C.V. Raman and many others. Scientist C.V. Raman announced the discovery of the Raman effect, for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1930. Integration of science is based on 4 pillars. These pillars include coming together of all science ministers and departments to work on the theme-based approach of problem solving. Actually, this is related to the finding of alternative and renewable energy sources in order to reduce pollution. We should have an integrated approach in science and technology for a sustainable future. Science is a systematic and logical study of how the universe works. All phenomena are the product of science and technology, whether it is a smartphone, fans, tires, fabric, paper, radio, television, etc. Science is the part of our life because it makes our dream to fly. Today, man has been able to do his work in the blink of an eye, which is possible only through science. So we can say with confidence that science has an important role to about in making a sustainable future. Now it is the time to admit that science and technology had led human civilization to achieve perfection in living. However, we must utilize everything in wise perspectives and to limited extent. Now I don't take your much time and don't want to come between you and your resource person. Once again, I thank Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur for sparing her valuable time for this webinar. And I also congratulate Mrs. Sunita Verma and Science Department for organizing various activities under this Science Week. I also thank to IT Department for the successful organization of this webinar. Thank you so much, Sunita ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Principal Dr. Reena Talwar, for welcoming today's resource person. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur as resource person for an invited talk. But before that, I would tell a brief biodata of our resource person. Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur is Assistant Professor in the Department of Physics, Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. Her specialization is in the field of non-linear optics, high-power laser plasma interaction, wave matter interaction, and terahertz radiation generation. She has studied non-linear phenomena like high-power laser guiding in magnetized plasma, radiation generation, resonant harmonic generation, self-focusing, and parametric instabilities. She has developed particle in cell simulation of harmonic generation from thin foil target. She has brought laurels to her affiliation. She has been awarded as Young Scientist Award by International Center for Theoretical Physics, Italy, and significant contribution to SAC by IIT Delhi. She is a gold medalist in her graduation. She is reviewer for many international journals and owns publications in reputed journals of international and national level. Now, I won't stay between the participants and our resource person, Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur. I invite Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur for invited talk. Over to Honorable Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur.
Thank you very much. So I'm thankful to Dr. Reena Talwar ji, Principal of prestigious institution Shanti Devi Arya Mahila College, Dinanagar, District Gurdaspur, and Secretary MGT Shri Dharam Indu Gupta ji for giving me this opportunity to share my views on National Science Day, which is supported by Punjab State Council for Science and Technology, National Council for Science and Technology, and DST Government of India. And it's an opportunity to speak you all, and especially with the young and potential minds of your college. So I acknowledge the welcome note by Coordinator Mrs. Sunita Verma ji for your encouraging words. It's a very thoughtful for you all to invite me on this prestigious event. So Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is an initiative of Government of India to celebrate and commemorate 75 years of independence together with the glorious history of India. So I would like to share my screen to, can you please able me to share my screen for the presentation?
Ma'am, you can share your PPT.
Yes. Is it in full screen?
No, ma'am, it's not full screen.
Okay.
Hello, yaar. Hello. Hello. Magnetic field. Ma'am, now it's fine. You can start, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah.
हो गया मैम, हो गया.
Okay, so I will start with my talk. So the title of my presentation is Integrated Approach in Science and Technology for Sustainable Future. So I'm Sukhdeep and working as assistant professor in Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar in Department of Physics. And the topic of this presentation is specially designated by the theme of the Science Day. So the theme for this year of Science Day is Sustainable Future and how we can achieve through integrated approach in science and technology. So I would like to start my presentation. With a quotation of C.V. Raman ji. He said once, that in the history of science, we often find that the study of some natural phenomenon has been the starting point in the development of a new branch of knowledge. So the quotations of Raman, Professor Raman is very much pronounced, and it will give you a new insight of what we can think about it. So today, as the National Science Day, as you all know, it is celebrated on the 28th of February every year in order to commemorate the invention of Raman Effect by our Indian physicist, Sir Chandrasekhara Venkata Raman. Sir C.V. Raman was awarded and honored with the Nobel Prize in Physics in the year 1930, and he was born in Madras, and his groundbreaking work is in the field of scattering of light. In 1954, he was honored with the greatest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. So what is the Raman effect? So as the quotation of Professor Raman says, that one has to think what is going on. One has to think what is going on. So once Professor Raman was coming from London in a ship, and he saw that why this sea is blue, why the apple is red. So he thought on this physical phenomena, and he found that when a light travels through a transparent material, as the sea is a transparent material, the water in the sea is a transparent material, some of the deflected light changes its wavelength. And this phenomenon is known as Raman scattering. And this is due to the result of Raman effect. So you can see this sea, the water, on the water, the sunlight is coming, which is the combination of all 7 colors, and only blue color, the blue light, or you can say the blue color, or you can say the wavelength of blue color is scattered. So that is why the color of the sea would look like blue. So this is a schematic diagram of Raman effect. There is a sample. The sample can be here, it is in the form of sea. So this can be any compound. So when incident light comes here, so light scattered in different directions, and the scattered light is of same wavelength, but some of the light which has got different wavelength. So the different wavelength light is due to the phenomenon of Raman scattering, which is very less amount, which is in very less amount. And the another light, which is in abundance, is known as Rayleigh scattered, which is of same wavelength as that of the incident light. So Raman effect has greatest implications in today's science. And you can see how Professor Raman has clicked an idea, and he got he has done a big research in the area of physics. So physically, what happened in Raman effect, there is a change in wavelength of light that occurs. How it occurs, change in wavelength, that occurs when a beam is deflected by the molecules. So when a beam travels in a dust-free transparent sample of compound, any chemical compound, a small fraction of light emerges in the direction other than that of incident beam. So you have seen in previous slide that there are scattered waves which are in different direction, but not in the direction of incident. So incident is the direction in which wave is coming. So most of the scattered light is of unchanged wavelength, but only a small part which has got a wavelength different from the incident light, and it is the presence of the Raman effect. So as I told you that there are various applications of Raman effect are in material analysis using Raman spectroscopy. It's a big area of research nowadays. Raman scanners to diagnose diseased cell and organs, and detection of explosives and gas analyzer for anaesthesia. So Raman effect is used in these medical purposes as well as in physical phenomenon. So now I will come on to the theme of our Science Day is the significance of science and technology. So science, as we know, is the process of gaining knowledge and investigating by making observation, posing questions and testing through experimentation. So in this, you can understand that Raman has made an observation why the sea is blue, why the apple is red. Sir Isaac Newton make an observation why the apple fall on the earth, on the ground, why the motion is always on downwards. So then you impose a question and test through experimentations. So science teaches us how things work, and it's important to advances in life such as technology and medicine. So in medicine, science helps us in so many things, like in sonography, like in different kind of MRIs, in different kind of scanners, in different kind of medicines. So science is as important as our life is important. So progress of science and technology leads us a good life because it allows us to have the following: easy access to information and the faster resolution to problems. So you can see from the invention of science, we are able to connect from so much long distance, and you are able to listen what we are going to impart. So significance of scientific application in the daily life of people and display that activities, efforts, and achievement in the field of science for human welfare. Opportunities available for scientific-minded citizen for research and development so that implementation of new technologies. So in research, what we do the invention of new technologies so they can be implemented for human welfare. It is the soul, it is the pivot. Science and technology is the whole soul pivot for any nation's development. So the importance of technology lies in its manifold benefits to society and revolutionize human life. So you can see how the science has progressed and your life has been revolutionized by the inventions in science and technology. So you can see the computer nowadays, means it's from last 3 decades, and the telecommunication industry, in which you can make a world very smaller. You can talk to anybody, anywhere, mobiles are there. So you can see the impetus of the science and technology invention in our day-to-day life. So only nowadays, Government of India and we scientists are believing by the integration of science. So it is based on 4 pillars, and they are coming all together of all science ministries and departments to work on the theme-based approach of problem solving and extended science-driven approach involving industry and startups leading to a sustainable future. Now, the meaning of this line is that previously the physics people are working, chemistry people, biology people are working independently, and they are doing research in science. But now integrated approach has been boosted up by unifying all the fields into one single problem solving issue or one single problem solving point, so that it will help us in sustainable future. So it can be done with linking learning content between different areas like biology plus chemistry, technology, and others. So when you talk about research in medical science, so in that case, physicist, biologist, chemist, all work together and they invent something which is beneficial for science. So nowadays, integrated approach has been taken up by universities, industries, and by the recommendation of Government of India. For all these things to happen, scientific temper is very much important. So what is a scientific temper? So you can think when I'm discussing this with you, and this should be in your personality, the attitude of questioning and reasoning, that when a topic has been taught to you, then you need to ask questions and why it is happening to understand the concept. If you are able to understand the concept, then you are able to build research on that concept. So the scientific temper is an approach of believing and the facts supported by relevant evidences. As you saw that the sea is blue, the evidence is there, and we believe it that it is true, and we support the facts with this evidence. Where these evidence are derived from observations, logical interpretation, and conclusion made from experiment, which is repeatable under similar condition. So any rule which has become as a law, it should be repeatable under similar conditions. Means if you are repeating an experiment under similar condition, it should give the same result. So then it is an observation, it is a fact, and it is a law. So now after that, believing things to the extent of evidence availability. So scientific temperature is a true pathfinder and guide for our life. It is basically a thought process which believes universe run on its own by natural laws. I can invite you students to think about the physical phenomenon which are happening around you. The physical phenomenon which are happening around you, and you are able to believe that universe has got you the opportunity to see on the natural laws. Scientific temperature made human understand there is a reason behind every happening. This reason can be understood by a human. The efficiency of approach and availability of right resources will decide time, completeness, and correctness of explanations. So if your approach is right towards any happening which is around you, so then it can become the correctness of explanation. This is the surest way to obtain the correct explanation for unknown happiness. So it will, I think that it will boost countries' techno-social development. So you can see that what is happening, I think there should be unknown happening here. So there is whatever is happening here, there can be an correct explanation for this. So to promote scientific temper, you can see that your college has arranged this talk. So these are the ways they are celebrating the Science Week from last 1 week. And in this, they were doing many things. So in this way, they are actually promoting the scientific temper. So you can always work on the education and science-based education which your college is doing. So they are on a mass scale, they are doing scientific exhibitions, essay elocutions on science, invention, scientific and poster presentations. Additionally, this needs to be done, arranging re-informative talks, science lectures, arranging visit to nearby science center and industries, and ensuring availability of science book like Science Made Easy, Experimental Science, science shows and demonstrations. So this all has been done in this Science Week, and this is to promote scientific temper of yours. So now, what is the concept of sustainable future? Sustainable development is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the availability of future generation to meet their own needs. Means in sustainable future, we need to see the present and we need to see the future. So we have to think that we should use the raw material in a way so that our future generation are able to meet their own needs. Likewise, you will understand this more now. Our living standard should be in tune with the limit of world's ecological means. The world has their own ecological system. They have limited things, resources. So we have to be tune ourselves in the world ecological resources. However, many of us live beyond it and have scant regard for long-term sustainability. Economic growth and development is required to be in commensurate with the limits of ecology and environment. And this is largely for the sustainable development. So now the sustainable future, the sustainable development, it is due to, means we have to think about the nature, the environment, the ecology, and we have to make a balance between all. So we need our demands to be, or our requirement to be fulfilled by nature, but we should also take care of nature resources. So sustainable development requires setting limit in terms of population or resource use beyond which lies ecological disaster. So if our population is increased and we use resources beyond the limit, so our ecology will have a disaster. So we need to manage it. So it warns every one of us against surpassing the ultimate limit of natural resources. So we should be warned enough that we should use these resources up to the limit, which is not become disaster for our environment. So economic growth and development obviously involve changes in the physical ecosystem. However, it should not cross the limit of regeneration and natural growth. So there is a natural growth, so we have to protect it. And you can see the natural growth in renewable resources are forest and fish stock need not to be depleted provided the rate of use is within the limit of regeneration and natural growth. So we need to take care of our forest also. They should not cut, and it should, if we are taking woods from the forest, so it should be in the limit. When there is a regeneration of it, we are planting more trees to prevent the forest. So sustainable development requires that the rate of depletion of non-renewable resources should foreclose as future options as possible. So it requires flourishing biodiversity and hence, so conservation of plant and animal species. So if you conserve the forest, so animal species will be freely available, means they are happy in their own nature. And it also vouches for a type of development where the adverse impact on the quality of air, water, and other natural elements are minimized so as to sustain the ecosystem overall integrity. Means the noise pollution, as you see, noise pollution should be decreased. Quality of air should be increased. The oxygen level in the quality of air should increase. The water is not contaminated, and other natural elements, they should have been looked upon by us. So it's it is the process to change in which we use the resources, investment, and the orientation of technological development and institutional changes are all in harmony with and enhance both the current and future potential to meet the human needs and aspirations. So we are the cause of it. We are the cause in the matter for it, and we need to invest with wisely. Our India means the India has a very, very strong commitment towards sustainable future with all the thrust towards the solar and the other form of clean energy and increasing the share of non-fossil based installed energy capacity more than 40% by 2030. So you can see that here in this picture, India has a strong commitment in solar energy, and there is a big thrust in the area of research in solar energy nowadays. So we are working for energy and sustainable system, and you can see that how environment and ecology can be protected by solar energy instead of using these big industry, the air pollution, less greenery, less forest, and you can see the comparison where sustainable sustainable system can save our future. So this is the India's investment. You can see China, India, and Brazil, they are investing too much in renewable energy to protect the world. So it is the biggest area of research nowadays. So we want our earth to be like this, a greenery earth, smiley, and people, animal species are happy here, we are happy here. So it's in our hands. So we are responsible for the pollution which we are doing in the universe. So what's in India March for Sustainable Future? India has committed to develop 175 gigawatt of clean energy by 2022, which is more than 300% increase in installed capacity of renewable in less than a decade. From last 10 years, we are able to achieve it. Further, India is looking to reach a new milestone of 450 gigawatt of clean renewable energy by 2030. So nowadays, I told you this is the hot topic of research nowadays, solar energy. It is the frontier area of research. Solar energy has emerged as a front runner amongst all the renewables. India has made massive commitment of creating 100 gigawatt of capacity based on solar out. From solar energy, we are committed to get 100 gigawatt out of, our target is 107 gigawatt of clean energy. So you can see the solar energy is contributing more than 50% to our requirement. So it is in the testimony to India's commitment that India has emerged as the most attractive emerging market for clean energy in investment climate scope to 2019. So India currently has the world's third largest installed power generation capacity and renewable energy. These have not been achieved overnight. India has a strong commitment towards sustainable future and with all the thrust towards the solar and other form of clean energy. Soon India is planning to launch a World Solar Bank, which would help the other countries in meeting the financial requirement for realizing the goal of clean energy driven future. So we are working through the clean energy driven future, which is pollution free and which is by the natural resources through an integrated approach, and India will act as a World Solar Bank to the other countries. So the path India has chosen to ensure success to affordable, solar energy is affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all can become a guiding principle for the other nation. If India can become the fastest growing economy in the world on the bank of green and clean energy, the bank of green and clean energy, I'm repeating this, so we have going to do this for the world, and we are developing a bank of green, then rest of the world can surely follow the similar path. So this is what India has been planned for this year. So now I would like to give you a glimpse about what the research will contribute to our life. So as my field of research is in laser plasma, so I'm just giving you an idea that what is a plasma. So you have seen this lightning, you have seen the fluorescent lamp, you have seen the tube light in your house. So these are plasmas. So we do research, you means this is a one part of the research. You can do research in this area. So it is our day-to-day life work. And you have also seen the Saturn rings. So that is an ultra cold plasma. It is known as dusty plasma. So now you can realize that in your day-to-day life, in this universe, in everywhere, there is a physical law. And when you think about that, you are able to observe the things and you can do research on the things. So to you all, my dear students who are attending this talk, so my message on Science Day to you is that you are the future builders of India. You all must have that scientific temper, which I have discussed, observing, questioning, reasoning, and know what is the method of science and develop a habit to mold your activities accordingly. So, but this habit does not always come naturally. The observation, looking for, they have to be practiced. You have to stop, you have to notice, and you have to see what's going on. Then you are able, when you practice your mind from day-to-day life, then you are able to be in that scientific temper, and then you are able to become a scientist. And our India needs scientists for sustainable future. So I would like to end my talk with one of the quotation of Professor C.V. Raman ji, that success can come to you by courageous devotion to the task lying in front of you. So you need not to think what you have to do, what has gone in past. So you have to put your whole devotion to the experiment which you are doing in the laboratory, to the class which you are attending. And when you are able to question that, you are courageous and your devotion is full time, then you are able to become a builder of India. So from this, I would like to convey my thank you, and I would like to convey my gratitude to the Institutional Management Committee for my talk in online mode today in National Science Day. Thank you very much. So this will be end of my talk. So any questions, students? I would like to take questions. Okay, if there is no question.
Dear students, have you any query?
I must tell you, after BSc, you have got a lot of opportunities in different research institutions like DRDO, BARC, Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Mumbai, and in National Physical Laboratory, in Indian Institute of Plasma Research. So after BSc, you can apply as a scientist. There is an application for entrance examination, and you can become scientist after BSc. They will support you for your MSc and then for research. And after MSc, you can also give the same scientist examination to these research institutions. And I would like to encourage you for research.
So students, do you have any query? Okay, Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur has thrown light upon National Science Day 2022 theme, Integrated Approach in Science and Technology for Sustainable Future. Thank you so much, respected Dr. Sukhdeep ma'am, for such a wonderful, highly useful, and very informative speech. And on the behalf of respected Principal Dr. Reena Talwar, I extend heartiest thanks to our resource person, Dr. Sukhdeep Kaur, for devoting her precious time to this institution. I also extend thanks to our principal, Dr. Reena Talwar, for encouraging and for her encouragement to organize this event. I also want to extend heartiest thanks to our team, Dr. Sushma Gupta, Vice Principal, Mrs. Praveen Sani, HOD Chemistry Department, Dr. Bharat Mahajan, HOD Physics Department, Mrs. Pallavi, Mrs. Mamta Kashyap, for their cooperation in organization of this event. Thank you, all the participants, for your cooperation. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Computer Science Department, due to which we were able to organize this event. Okay, you can leave now. Thank you, all the participants.